Phonetics and phonology. Speaking a foreign language is a complicated matter. There are different issues language learners have to deal with: grammar, the structure of the language, context, cultural issues, the actual language and its skills, receptive and productive. And within these productive skills, speaking is the one that seems to cause more problems, especially with age students who have, to some extent, fossilized knowledge regarding pronunciation. Phonology. Phonology studies the sounds within a specific language, how we interpret and systemize sounds. There is no phonology without a language. Phonetics. Despite the apparent complexity that it seems to be learning all those phonetic signs and their meanings in sounds, they could provide a reliable option to help learners enhance speech. Phonetics studies the sounds of language, focusing on just the sounds. This is, phonetics can focus on any language. These are some aspects phonetics focus on: how sounds are produced, which is studied by articulatory phonetics; how sounds travel through the air, which is studied by acoustic phonetics; and how sounds reach the auditory system of the receiver, is studied by auditory phonetics. But how important is this for language teachers? Teaching a language requires to master, if not totally, at least to a great extent, the target language pronunciation. This will hopefully help teachers recognize the phonemes by familiarizing themselves with the symbols assigned to each phoneme. Learning the whole International Phonetics alphabet is not a simple task. Nevertheless, it is achievable. There are different strategies aimed to help language users and learners to familiarize themselves with this phonetic system. The International Phonetic Alphabet is a standard international sound scheme designed to organize the spoken sounds of languages. Thus, these signs can be used with any language. Of course, there are situations in which some phonemes are modified by language users to belong to a context, or by other reasons related to physiological impediments or several other issues that at the end change the sound of a phoneme. Nevertheless, in a specific context, the meaning remains as it's in its original signified. But is learning the International Phonetics Alphabet beneficial for teachers and for language learners? A question arose in my mind. It's been stated by some scholars that learning a language based on grammar, on a grammatical approach, beyond the lack of real significant communicative activities and other negative features mentioned, as negative, there is a feeling amongst learners, not always, but that the grammar is boring. And considering that, how will learners embrace the idea of learning the grammar of sounds? I consider that learning the International Phonetic Alphabet System is a great tool to help learners achieve the goal of speaking the target language accurately. Nevertheless, the question remains: how will learners feel towards learning an alternative alphabet? Will this feeling create a barrier towards learning? I understand there should be friendly techniques for this learning, and that perhaps as learners perceive the improvement, could be an extra motivation for accepting the alternative alphabet. I find it interesting but complicated. I believe that it is a topic we could study for a whole semester, and to that point, perhaps become familiar, not experts in the area.